I'm Jay.
I'm Tom.
And we are VIMTV, Velocities in Music, the best kept secret in music reviews. Today we're going to review an album that's been in our backlog for a little bit now, that we've been kind of listening on and off to for a month, maybe 2 months now. Suuns, Images du Futur. Or, I don't know what that means.
Yeah, but we don't know how to pronounce any aspect of this.
Really, if there ever becomes something that's remotely hard to pronounce, I'm just like, I don't know what that means. And so this album, Images du Futur, is like that for me. How do you even begin to describe the sound of this album? The first thing I have to hit on is the vocals. This sounds like Thom Yorke's little brother.
Yeah.
Something like maybe the same guy, like a clone of the guy in Liars. You know,
if you took Thom Yorke and locked him in a basement and just got him really agitated
and beat him kind of like in the chest and in the mouth, so his voice kind of wasn't as good, but you could still tell it was Thom Yorke.
Yeah,
that's what the vocals sound like here, and kind of druggy at the same time too. It's kind of this guy definitely sounds high when he's singing, which kind of gives it like this moody, atmospheric quality to the vocals. And that style of vocals is naturally moody and atmospheric, anyways. But I mean, on top of that, one thing that these guys do is they have really big guitars and really big beats, almost dubstep beats. You can tell these guys listen to dubstep and like have thought about how to construct their beats bigger based on dubstep.
Yeah, to me this album was all about rhythm. I mean, even in those big guitars and the bass, I mean, you listen to like the intro, and throughout the whole song of track 5, Eddie's Dream, where you have those kind of like bass chords go in, but it's all about those kind of offbeat like triplets and the way everything works out throughout the song is just based on the rhythm. And I felt like that through most of this album as the beats build, and obviously there's a lot of atmosphere still too, but it's kind of interesting that you get those rhythmic aspects from all the instrumentals, and then the vocalist is just kind of slurring his speech through it. It's a really interesting clash of ideas, but I almost wish I hadn't used the word clash, because I think that implies that it doesn't work, but I think it really does.
It does. It does. That contrast adds a lot of power to the songs. I think that, like, notably, the guitar in track 2, 2020, like, really sets the stage for, I mean, in that track you have that big, huge beat, kind of the fuzzy synth in the background, and then that
guitar.
I mean, that track, it just gets stuck in your head. These guys clearly had an image of their sound in their heads, and it's a very unique sound, so you have to give them, you know, credit for originality, authenticity, and that stuff, which, to me, goes a long way, because there's so many artists out there, like, especially with a voice like this guy has, it would be too easy to make this sound like Radiohead.
Yeah.
Instead, they actually tried to make something unique and make a good album, and I really appreciate that. This album, from start to finish, flows very well. I don't really feel like there's any inconsistency in the quality delivered throughout the album. Every single track on this album is enjoyable.
Yeah.
It's just that I don't really feel like none of them really knock it out of the park.
I am completely with you on that.
2020 comes close for me.
It does.
I really like that track. Doesn't knock it out of the park for me. Track 8, Holocene City. The last track, truly, in the true fashion of Images du Futur, it's the last full track to me, because then you have track 9, the title track, which is an instrumental track, and then the closing track, Music Won't Save You, is a bit different on the album, and it's a nice way to end the album.
It is. It really sums up the mood and a lot of the musical ideas that are presented. I completely agree with you, though, just to reiterate that, I mean, if you look at our track picks, I picked 5 of the 10 tracks on this album. You picked 4, and only 1 of those are the same.
Yeah.
Which just tells you how consistently good this album is, but I totally agree that none of the songs, while they're all good, none of them really blow me away.
Yeah.
None of them really just get me to the point of just drooling over.
And to tell you the truth, I mean, that's one of the things that kept this down for me, but I still found this to be highly enjoyable. And an album that I'm going to come back to. It just didn't, the album itself did not blow me away. It didn't accomplish enough to blow me away.
Yeah,
so, and maybe that'll change with time, because I've found in the past with albums that are consistently good, that we're like, yeah, this is really good. Even if we've listened to it for like a week straight, and we've listened to it like 5 to 8 times, I find that, you know, later on, after giving it a few months, that I find that just the mood, this band has an incredible sense of dynamics. They're very good about managing dynamics. When you have all these positive qualities, it's really easy to come back to these albums.
Definitely.
So I wouldn't be surprised if this ended up being a grower for me, but right now, I think that I'm sitting at like an upper 70 score with it, which is 78. And that's a really good score. That's, I mean,
I'm meeting you right there. That's just what this is. I just think that's
all right. Yeah, that's where it is. And that means that's a stamp of approval from VIMTV. Really, I look at 75 and above as something that you guys should check out. I wouldn't classify this as must listen, but it's definitely a really good album that if you're looking for something different, this could be a really rewarding listen. And I wouldn't be surprised if you were to pick this album up and love it. For all the reasons we just said, it's just maybe we haven't gotten to the point of loving it yet, and that's coming down the pipe for us. So I'm really interested for you guys to check out this new Suuns album and let us know your feedback. Hit us up at www.velocitiesmusic.com or youtube.com/velocitiesmusic. As always, follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook, and leave us a comment about what you're listening to right now from 2013 and would like to see us review. I'm Jake.
I'm Tom.
And we are VIMTV, moving music critique forward.
It's so